You've been seeing me in the... Hang on a sec, I've just got to turn my clock on so that I can time myself. You've been seeing me in these beautiful scarves. This is a really beautiful hand-knitted scarf. And you might think that it's cold here, but it's really bloody hot. And I'm only doing this because they look good. And we've got lots of lights here. It's like autumn in Queensland, but it's still warm, and I've got lights, and I'm hot. But it looks so nice. It's a beautiful scarf. Anyway... Thank you for watching. Our guest today is Sarah Pearse, and she is holed up in Melbourne with really dodgy Wi-Fi. We've got the NBN here in Palmwoods. Melbourne's got shit. Make sure you stay after this little intro, and we're going to find out more from Sarah. So is that internet still connected, Sarah?
Seems to be, for the moment.
It's been a half an hour
See how we go.
Jumping in and out. So let's just crack on while we still have you. I can't believe that in Melbourne the Wi-Fi is so dodgy.
I think it was better where I was in Peru, to be honest.
Yeah, and that's where you've just arrived back from, isn't it? Peru.
Yeah, well, it was a fateful day when you were with Dad and Sue and gave me that call and told me to get moving. I was in Bolivia, and we just heard that day about the first border closing in South America. So we were about 16 hours from Cusco and one border crossing, and about 41 hours from my good friends in Brazil and 3 borders to get over there because we had to go through Uruguay. So we made the decision to head north and to try and get back to Peru. And the afternoon that we crossed, that night, the Peruvian president announced 24 hours until all of the borders were going to close. So the next day we made it just in before the quarantine, about an hour before sunset on the night of the quarantine. And then it took about 3 weeks to get sort of support from the Australian government to come back to this.
So what's your first piece of random shit to share?
Well, my first piece of random shit is dos.
Oh.
So as a child, I played a lot of what we call but what the rest of the world calls uno, meaning one. And this is dos, which is 2. And it's a very similar but slightly different card game, and I'm very much looking forward to playing it with my nieces and nephew when I get out of quarantine.
And so how much longer are you in quarantine for?
Another 10 days.
Okay, all right. So we are counting, aren't we?
Maybe.
Yeah. All right, so my first piece of random shit, and I checked with Sarah before we went online just to confirm my memory, and that is, and they're going to put up the photo. Can you do that? I gave this book to Sarah when she first jumped on a plane to go to Brazil. And the author is Paulo Coelho, and I just simply adore him, and he is Brazilian. He's a Brazilian author. And so did you read that book on the plane, Sarah?
Did I read that book? I can probably recite that book from beginning to end, and I still have the copy that you gave me with your inscription in the front. Love it. My favourite book by far.
So that was 19 years ago.
It was a few years ago.
That's when you went there. That's amazing. And so you spent all of that time. You've had so much time in South America. It must be like another whole home for you.
Yeah. I mean, it's a wonderful part of the world. I really enjoy it, and I find I get along. I find it easier to connect to the culture there than other places that I've travelled, for sure.
Yeah. So what's your second piece of shit?
Well, this isn't actually a piece of shit, but it's kind of random, I guess. It's one of the most beautiful ponchos I think I've come across. And when I was leaving Peru just on the way out, the family that we'd been staying with said that normally there's a guy that comes to their place and buys a lot of this stuff that the local community make, and then he sells it at a lot of the music festivals in the United States. So he wasn't obviously going to be able to come this year. So they gave this to me, and it's hand-stitched, and all of the materials hand-dyed by this woman who lives up in the community. And just a beautiful, beautiful piece of work. So I've brought this back with me with the intention to sell it. So I sold 2 other ponchos, maybe 10 bags, a whole bunch of wrist bracelets and that sort of stuff, just trying to inject some cash into the community. So if anybody would like a poncho, you just get in touch with me there.
and it's also will have been in quarantine for 14 days too.
It is most definitely, it's going to be just as fine as I am. I'm actually at more risk here in quarantine, I think, than what I was back there.
That's hilarious. All right, now following on from my Paulo Coelho theme is I went to the Brisbane Writers Festival, one of the Brisbane Writers Festival. It must have been in the early or the mid-1990s, I think. And I went and saw Paulo Coelho because I'm just like girl fan.
I saw him.
Yeah. Well, no, it gets better. So this is the story. So I'm there, and there's like 100 other people, and he was on a panel having, talking the author talk thing. Anyway, so after the panel session, you get to go and buy a couple of books or a book or whatever, and then you line up to have it signed, right? So I'm in the line to have, I bought 2 books, and I'm in the line to have Paulo sign my books. Anyway, so the line's really huge, and the poor author who was next to Paulo didn't have a line, and I felt really bad for that author because our line had like 50 people in it, and that person's, I can't even remember whether it was who it was, had no people in it. So I felt really bad about that and uncomfortable and awkward. And then the closer you got to Paulo, to the author signing desk, this person comes along with a little pad of post-it notes, and I could see what was happening as he was coming up, and I thought, oh no, that's a bit crass. And so what he was saying was, tell me what your name, I'll write your name down here, so when you get there, and we'll stick it in the front of your book, so when you get there, Paulo can, say, dear Robin, blah, 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 Paulo. And I thought, oh, that's just, I said, he doesn't know me, I can't do that, that's just bullshit. Anyway, so up I go, and he takes the books from me, and he says, what's your name? And I said, you don't need to put my name in it, just sign your name. And he grabbed both my hands, and he looked earnestly and deeply into my eyes, and he said, I am speaking tonight, please come. And I just, of course I will. It was the most amazing thing. So of course I did, and I'm sitting there in the audience. There must have been about 100 people there, and this was at the very beginning of me learning that if you want to be noticed or you want something, then be the first person to get up in a crowd and ask a question. And so I did on that particular night, and it was.
What did you ask?
Well, honestly, I said, do you believe in a God? That's what I asked him. Because I'm atheist. I don't. But I wondered if he did. And so anyway.
What did he say?
Well, I was lost then in a mist of love sickness. It didn't matter what he said. I just remember his voice. But he signed it. So there on camera 3, we've got the Paulo's signature.
Oh,
I know, it's just
what
one
a
of those
treasure! What a treasure!
Yeah. So what's your next piece that you'd like to share?
Well, this is a bit of a spoiler alert for my family for Christmas presents this year. But I've started. Oh, it might be a bit bright. I started collecting Christmas ornaments wherever I go just to get some different little ones.
Beautiful.
So these guys are little shakers, and they're made out of
Are they gourds?
pumpkin.
Yeah.
Yeah, gourds.
Yeah.
So got a couple of these little ones.
They're
That I
beautiful.
picked up while I was away, and they travelled well, and the Australian quarantine let them through. Turns out there's advantages to evac flights. You know, I told them I had them, and they waved me on through anyway. So.
That's fantastic. And so Carly won't be able to show her kids this video because they'll know what they're getting for Christmas from their Auntie Sarah.
Yeah, that's it. Christmas decorations for everyone.
That's hilarious. So, thanks for sharing that. Thanks for taking the time to. I mean, you had to check your busy calendar and you had to reschedule a few things to fit us in at 3:30 instead of 4:30.
It turns out time is one thing I have.
Yeah. So another 10 days of not really doing anything. Are you exercising? Do you walk around your room, over the bed?
There's not
chairs?
that much room to walk, but I do travel with a little yoga carpet, which is just perfect. So I had a call with a friend yesterday, and we did an aerobics class together, and then did yoga with Dad and Sue this morning. So trying to do what I can.
Yeah.
I should have bought some weights. I think that would have been better, but just use body weight, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Keep us fit.
All right.
Yeah.
Incredible. I can't wait to see you again in a few months' time.
I know. I am so looking forward to hugging everybody once we're all allowed to hug each other again. It's going to be the highlight of my year, I think.
Yeah. Good on you. All right, Sarah. Thanks for joining us. All right. That's it. I'm so excited that she's back in the country. We all are. And that she's holed up with bad Wi-Fi in, where is it, Sarah? What? The Intercontinental?
I'm at the
Travel Lodge.
wish. I'm at the Travel Lodge.
Travel Lodge.
That's the Short Straw Travel Lodge. That's the one.
In Docklands. So I tell you, there's a whole nother story. There's a whole nother world of these people in quarantine in these motels around the country. I've got to say it'll all be an interesting thing once they come out. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow afternoon.
I think it's of that tunnel. No.